Hello, and welcome to 97.9 Unity Radio, the best sports talk show in Worcester today, coming to you live from Utica, New York. This is Moneyline. And with me, as always, the voice of reason himself, the entrepreneurial king of New Hartford and Utica, Frank Cristiano.
Huge introduction. Thank you. And
Yes.
When you said Moneyline, that almost sounded like, what was the dating show they had with, oh God, who was that psychologist, doctor, whatever his name?
That's before my time.
It was before your time?
Well,
You didn't have that?
You're much older than
it was,
me, so.
they called it like Sex Line or...
Yeah, with Dr. Drew.
Dr. Drew. Yeah, that's it. Dr. Drew.
I know. Sure.
Yeah. And he'd have on Dr. Ruth Westheimer. And she would give the important sexual tips coming from an 86-year-old Jewish woman. Yes.
Yeah, she knew. She had all the
of course, she did all the in-depth studies.
All the tricks of the trade.
She dug deep to get her information.
Which we don't.
She had to stroke the numbers to make them correct. They were hard numbers, but she had to stroke the numbers to make it correct.
I'll bet you she had one hell of a grip.
I can imagine the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip.
Jesus. Wow.
This is great.
I don't want to picture that.
Oh, my God.
So I wanted to start off by asking you the Minnesota football Vikings. They win in very impressive fashion against your team. You like to promote quite frequently the San Francisco 49ers.
The 49ers are my team too.
Well, you talk about how great they are.
I think they are a very good football team. Absolutely.
Yeah, I do too. But they got kind of hammered by Sam Darnold. So has Sam Darnold turned the corner, or is San Francisco just beat up because they don't have McCaffrey? And I think Kittle was out, and they had some injuries.
I mean, Minnesota beat up on a couple of other teams as well. I
don't think they're undefeated.
They are 3-0.
They are 3-0.
They are 3-0. So, I mean, bottom line. So they defeated Tampa. I think, wasn't it Tampa this week?
Well, this week was San Francisco.
This week was San Francisco.
I believe so. Yes. I'll verify that.
Yeah, I mean, he's on my fantasy team, so I didn't even bother to pay attention because I knew he was going to do well. I just picked him up because of the first successful 2 weeks. It's got to be a combination of several things. It can't just be one thing. It can't just be that, hey, Sam Darnold has just reawoken.
Well, no, they got Justin Jefferson. They got good receivers.
Well, they do, and they're still missing. They're still missing the number 2 receiver.
Yes.
So I think after this week, they're going to be healthy going into week 4 with all their offensive weapons. But I don't think it's one thing. I think it's a combination of many things. Coaching, everyone, this guy's pretty good. He is a good coach.
Yeah.
He's done well the past few seasons. He has been successful implementing what he wants to do.
He's a young guy.
He is a young guy. I mean, right now, it's him and who's the guy in Seattle we just talked about last week?
McDonald
for Coach of the Year, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, after 3 games, what can you nominate? But bottom line, I think there's multiple factors. I think Sam Darnold
I'm just happy for him because he's been through a lot.
I am too, but being in difficult situations like a New York or like a Carolina.
New York kind of gave up on him a little.
Well, you know what? I mean,
they don't have
that situation
temperament.
Did not work.
Oh,
it did not work. It was 3 year. The 3 year. It did not work. They had to, and the same may happen to Bryce Young down the road. Bryce Young may go somewhere else, and all of a sudden you're going to see a talented individual on the field. Just right now, it does not work in Carolina.
That was going to be my next question going forward.
Sure.
I believe the Carolina Panthers came out and officially endorsed Andy Dalton being their quarterback.
Well, I think for this upcoming week, they haven't given him lock, stock, and barrel for the season.
Okay.
I think for this upcoming week, they've renamed him the starter, which is no surprise.
Okay.
I mean, he literally ramrodded the Raiders yesterday, which was...
He did.
I mean...
I was shocked.
Yeah. For a team that has a decent amount of talent, I mean, I consider the Raiders 500 at best. and most likely they'll be under 500 this year, but I consider them at best a 500 team.
Well, they had coaching
For a team
gaps
that,
too.
yeah, they did, but I think that the way they explained it after the game in the press conference was basically that, and the head coach had said this. He said that players made business decisions.
Yeah, he said that he didn't think they played hard.
Right. So now they're going to reevaluate several people, not just the quarterback position. I think you'll see
They went with
Aiden O'Connell. I think you may see him as a starter next week. I think you're going to see some other people being removed and replaced with other people, to fill their positions. I think especially on defense.
Right.
So, I'm not shocked by it, but the whole thing with I think a Bryce Young may just need a breath of fresh air. I don't think he fit in well. He obviously didn't fit in well with the coaching staff, with the new coach coming in, and either couldn't pick up the system or couldn't adapt to what they were looking for him to do, because Andy Dalton came in there and it looked like he was a veteran of 10 years with the system.
Well, then that goes back to your assessment of the front office. Well, why draft him then?
Well, I mean, my only thing with that is he had great success in college.
He was small.
Right. That's my thing, is the numbers don't add up as far as what can be accomplished. Now, does that mean that small quarterbacks can't survive in the NFL? No. Drew Brees survived in the NFL. Doug Flutie had success in the NFL. There are
he's marketably smaller.
Even Russell Wilson is 6 foot. So it's not like these guys, they can't survive in the NFL, or some flourish in the NFL. But bottom line, the bigger physicality of a quarterback being tall and thick, or tall and a runner, as per se right now. Yeah. I mean that has a lot to be valued when you're drafting someone for that position. So, but I really do think, yes, he has not done all that, but I think the guy is going to fit somewhere. I think he's an athlete. I think he's talented. I think right now he's confused. He's either confused by how they're handling him, or confused by what he can absorb. For a guy to be, and granted, you know what, coming from Alabama, what Alabama quarterback besides Joe Namath? What Alabama quarterback has had tremendous success in the NFL?
I would like to introduce Coach Schuman as well. Coach Schuman, how are you, sir? Great to see you again.
I'm wonderful. The dynamic duo I'm on with. The dynamic duo.
Like half of your body's gone, half of my body's gone.
It's my fault.
And Coach Schuman's head takes up the whole screen.
It is a big head, by the way. It is a big head.
No, that has to be so.
My head's made for radio, not TV.
Through these things.
No, I don't.
That's the problem.
Can you hear me now? No, you can't hear me now.
I can hear you.
He says he can hear you, but you can't hear him.
Okay.
We can't hear him.
Hold on, let me just pause.
Jamie, and there's no way I'm doing the show.
Steve,
there we go.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, good.
There we go. See, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
We don't really see the host, Steve. Well, all right, now
we're tilted. Now we're good.
I mean, we do have a lot of beefs going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so no way.
Between the three of us,
there's no A gap in this split right here.
No, there's no A gap. A gap is.
I like a nice tight split. Yeah,
I can imagine.
Coach Schuman, we were talking and we were wondering, in your opinion, Sam Darnold. He has come around and he defeated Frank's San Francisco 49ers.
How are they my team all of a sudden?
You speak like them, like they're gods all the time.
They're a good team.
I know.
And they're banged up. They have 4 starters out.
Yeah, I know. It's the NFL. Everyone's hurt. So Sam Darnold throws 4 touchdowns and beats the 49ers. He is now 3-0. He beat the Giants to start the season. Do you think Sam Darnold's career could possibly be resurrected?
Well, I never thought Sam Darnold was that bad to begin with. So,
you didn't?
No, I think me and Frank talked about this in one of the episodes before, where
you did.
Thought that Sam Darnold was salvageable.
You did,
a salvageable guy, and obviously with the Jets are not
Zach Wilson. You thought
built for everybody. Okay. Carolina was obviously he had moments in Carolina that were pretty good. He just, that's a tough place to be consistent, right?
And they don't have a lot of patience.
Yeah, and just overall, there's a lot of issues there with that organization. But But the I think the big thing is that, getting in the right situation. Sam Darnold, he's looked great.
He's got weapons.
I think that's the key. I think he's potentially a decent quarterback. I mean, the question is, you look at Brock Purdy, who I think is a good quarterback. I don't think he's an elite quarterback, but I think he's a good quarterback. If you have weapons and you have a good scheme and you have an organization that's a decent organization, you could have some success. Can he be an elite passer? I don't know. I mean, was Cousins originally thought of as being a great quarterback? No, he was a backup, I think, originally.
He was the RG3.
Yeah, and for a long time, he was kind of thought of as a mid guy, right?
Yeah, he was a stopgap.
Kind of evolved. It got better and better. I still, I think that as good as he's been, he's still a little limited to being elite. But
he looked better yesterday.
Quarterback play is so mid overall. Okay, it's so mid level. Like, so a guy like Darnold, if he can get some of the right weapons around him, the right system around him, and can be patient in the pocket, be able to deliver the ball, can actually do well. If you watch quarterback play overall, I mean, when you watch Aaron Rodgers throw the football, I want to take all the other stuff out of it. Throwing the ball, how it comes out of his hands. I can't count anyone on my hand that can do that in the NFL. The man's 40 years old, and he throws a football much better than everyone else. I mean, including Patrick Mahomes. Okay. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is the best overall quarterback, meaning between throwing, being able to move, making decisions. He's younger, okay. He's the best overall quarterback in the league. But as far as just purely throwing the football, when that ball comes out of his hand, there is not a guy in the NFL that throws it better than Aaron Rodgers. So that, to me, seems suspect of quarterback throwing, okay? Because to me, the quarterbacks have to be able to move in today's era to elude a rush. Doesn't have to run, but elude. I mean, Lamar won the game, after they almost blew the game. He won the game with his legs in the end, right? And that's a good instance where you could use your legs, like when you need to get a first down, stuff like that. But as far as throwing the ball, Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes show you that throwing the football is still the number one thing that the quarterback needs to be able to do, and be able to throw it well. Absolutely. And throw it on time. And I don't care how much your guy can run. If a guy can really throw the football, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, guys who can really throw the football and make quick decisions, they're difference makers. The Jets, to me, don't seem any better than they were last year, but they are better because Aaron Rodgers delivers the ball on the money, and he's still rusty, by the way, watching him play. He's still rusty. He's not even close to where he was yet, and he's still able to deliver the ball. Like, so that to me. So if Sam Darnold could do that, absolutely. Cousins throws the ball decently well, allows him to be able to.
Good yesterday.
Yeah, he allows him to be a good quarterback. And because in the end, it's just a difference maker. Carolina, right, replacing Bryce Young. Obviously,
that was the smartest decision they could have made.
Andy Dalton. What does Andy Dalton do? Does Andy Dalton run?
No.
Does Andy Dalton
I was shocked he was
down the field?
He looked like he had the playbook tattooed on the inside of his eyelids yesterday. I mean, he just looked fantastic. Like he just woke up out of it. He's the Undertaker of quarterbacks. He just rose from the dead and led a team that everyone said was horrible at every position. This guy's terrible. That guy's terrible. This guy's terrible. All of a sudden, Giante's went for 120. The backs looked good, and their defense looked fantastic. I don't understand it in 1 week's time. So is Bryce Young that bad? that he caused the entire breakdown offensively and defensively for Carolina? Or is Vegas really that bad? Where they're a mess at what they're trying to do offensively, and then defensively looked horrible too. I can't for the life of me, I can't. That game perplexed me. I couldn't understand one thing about it.
Dave said it best. Dave said if you took Bryce Young and you put him on the 49ers, it'd be a different story.
Well, I agree in a way, and I totally agree in a way. Listen, this is where Sam Darnold is flourishing right now. In a couple of weeks, hopefully he'll have T.J. Hawkinson back. He'll have Addison back. They'll be full complemented weapons. If he's winning now with just, Jefferson and a couple backups, and what's he going to do when he has the other two receivers there? I mean, he's going to be even better. And then I think the point goes to this. The first two, and not counting San Francisco, but the first two stops for Sam Darnold were basically death sentences.
Yeah.
He there was no way he could win with either upper echelons administration or staff that was there. I think now he's actually, and this is why they consider their, Minnesota's coach a candidate for coach of the year early on. But bottom line, he's falling into a position where the pieces fall into place to be able to be under control, to be coached the right way, and to feel comfortable in the system. You have to be comfortable. If not, if you're on pins and needles, how are you going to throw as a quarterback?
Dave, you've seen it with Baker Mayfield now. You've seen it with Jared Goff, and now we're seeing it with Sam Darnold. Do some of these teams just flat out give up on these quarterbacks too soon instead of letting them develop, getting them more weapons?
Well, I don't know. I don't think they gave up on Jared Goff. They made a trade at the time for
they did.
Was a better quarterback. A better situation. So it worked at the time. It actually got him a Super Bowl, right? So
it did. You're right.
That was a good move. You look at Buffalo, their quarterback. Obviously, their quarterback is can run when he needs to, throw when he needs to. Joe. Oh, by the way, your Washington Commanders are in a battle right now with the Bengals. I think
did they score? Is it 7-7 now?
7-7, yeah.
They did score. Good. Okay.
The Bengals, if Burrow wasn't so good they have such a terrible line, or average line, I guess, that they would they probably would be, and they may be not good, but they would be flat out probably bad, because they just don't have the offensive line. But it is this game in the NFL. The more I see it, you need to be in the right situation for you as a quarterback, and you need to be able to throw the ball. And I do not. There's exceptions to the rule, but the exceptions should not be the rule. That's the biggest problem I see with the NFL. There are exceptions to the rule, meaning there are short guys that can play quarterback in the NFL. Okay, the guy at the Cardinals can get it done. He's hit or miss, but he can kind of get it done, right? But it should not be the rule. The problem that I think you have in the NFL is they are taking those exceptions and saying, oh, every 6-foot quarterback can play in the NFL. And I think it's just absolutely – I think it's destroying quarterback play. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it is.
Most quarterbacks that are 6 feet or under cannot play in the NFL. I don't care how good your arm is. The guys that are somehow making it are really, really elite guys. But if we were taking guys that were 6'2" and 6'3" and developing them, and not just saying, oh, we're going to take the guy because he can run really – you need to be a dual guy, quote unquote, because he's got to be able to move. But he doesn't have to be a dual guy, meaning we're going to run power read for the quarterback every other play, okay? That's not what I mean by a guy that can run. And I think that if the NFL does not – the old model, okay, as far as under center, play action pass, big quarterback, physical quarterback, okay, that old model should work better in the new system, because now you're set back in the gun 5 yards, right? So now not only are you catching the ball in the gun, but you're able to just stand there and you have more time because the ball comes back so fast in the shotgun. You don't have to move and do any of the play action stuff. So the bigger they've gone to the thing we're in the gun, because in high school, the problem is it's become a bottom up thing in the NFL. It used to be a top down. Okay, it's a bottom up. What do you do? Every high school coach, okay? Unless you got a guy that really can sling it, who's the best athlete in the whole entire team? You are great. You're going to run power read or zone read.
Well, that's what we did.
Carry the ball 15 times a game.
Can you throw a bubble in a slant, right? That's it. Can you throw the bubble in the slant? That's all you need.
That's it. Throw the bubble in the slant and stretch the. If you could sling it down the field once in a while to stretch the field, that's all we need to do. And I have a running back. I have a quarterback. If I get those two guys, I'm in business in high school. So what gets produced at the next level? What gets produced at college? That's what's going to happen. If that's what's being played at the high school level, you're saying I'm going to take the best athlete who could throw a little bit. And I don't fault the high school quarterback. You got to do what you need to do, right? And then it pushes up. It's like we don't have any quarterbacks anymore. Okay, so now college has to take athletes, and then by the time you get to the NFL, you're like, wait a minute, you need a guy that can really throw it. Well, there's not that many available.
Yeah.
When people are like, why is Shedeur Sanders? Shedeur Sanders is a top 10 pick, maybe a top 5 pick. He could sling the ball, period. End of story. And can run enough to be able to. He probably actually is fast. I just think he stays in the pocket, right?
Yeah, but I didn't know he was 6'2", like you said.
He could sling the guys who could sling the ball around are the guys who are really going to have a chance to be a quarterback in the NFL and have a chance at success. And it's not the other way around. Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, they were exceptional athletes in the same way that Michael Vick was exceptional, could do both. Okay. Those guys come around once in a while. They are not the norm. They are the exception. The exception should not be the rule. The exception, when you get a Lamar Jackson, when you have a Kyler Murray, absolutely, they could be quarterbacks in the NFL, be wildly successful. I don't know if they can win a championship or not, but they're going to be, win games.
What about Dak Prescott? What do you think about him right now?
He's okay. I mean, we paid him a lot of money, so I'd like to say
we were preaching him 3 weeks ago before the season started. The guy's an elite top 5 guy, and they're going to get it done. He just, to me, okay, you know what? I really enjoyed the comeback. I enjoyed watching them come back. But why does that fire need to get lit like that? They should have that all the time. If you're a quality team and a quality quarterback, that should be there the whole time.
No, I agree.
He's an example of a gunslinger who just I don't know if he's
who's been drinking whiskey all day at the country saloon, and then he comes out and just starts firing everywhere. Come on,
he hit a plateau. I don't know what happened to him.
And listen, they were doing
I don't know.
But they were doing a fantastic job at pressuring him. The defense played outstanding. I thought their coverage was really good too. And man, they were with receivers most of the time, stride for stride. Until the end there, and then what happens to every team? They get a little shaky. You get a pop score real quick. You get the onside kick, and all of a sudden you're tensing up as a defense and as a team overall because the offense, who ran for 200 and something yards, all of a sudden they got shut down for 3 series in a row. So, I think there's a lot of factors in that game, but he just doesn't. God, it just doesn't look. I don't know. I wish I could put it like that. I never had confidence in the guy.
Can't put your finger on it.
I can't. There's something wrong. At points he looks great, and at points he just looks like dog shit.
Well, they at least play in the NFC East, so
okay.
They have.
What it reminds me of? You ever see the movie Major League? Wild Thing.
Yes.
Right. And Wild Thing is like he could be great, and he could be terrible. Like the potential. That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of that kind of guy. And meanwhile, Kirk Cousins is like the what's the old guy? That's
the Vaseline ball. They throw the Vaseline ball. He's my favorite.
With the Vaseline balls, exactly. Yeah. That's who Kirk Cousins is.
Yeah. So great. I thought you were going to say he's more like Willie Mays Hayes.
Willie Mays Hayes.
Talking a whole bunch of shit in the beginning, doing bunches of that, and then he's batting like 180. Come on.
Well, he had to do push-ups.
I know.
He had to do push-ups. By the way, that's my favorite sports movie. I got chastised for that.
What was your favorite sport?
I was asked what's my favorite, what I think the best sports movie of all time is. I said Major League. I was chastised mercifully for saying
you know what my favorite is? Hoosiers.
I mean, you can never come wrong.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one.
You agree with that? Okay,
I agree with that.
You can't go wrong with Hoosiers.
I could watch Hoosiers every time it's on. It's one of those movies that's on like a Sunday, in the middle of the afternoon now, which is a shame because it's such a great movie. But that's what happens eventually to all these movies. There it is on Sunday. But when that movie's on, man, there's no movie like that can inspire you like that movie. Like the small school goes in and beats the big school. The coach who's maligned for being a great coach, but trouble the past, and then
from right down our way too, Ithaca, New York. They're saying he's a college coach at Ithaca.
That's right.
Yeah. It's only about an hour and a half from us, right over here. So yeah, that's actually I went to Cortland, so that's the rivalry. Cortland Ithaca is legendary. So that's that was funny when I watched the movie. I'm like, they put in Ithaca. Why can't they put Cortland in there? Could have been great if it was Cortland.
Were you surprised at the Denver Broncos performance and Bo Nix?
Yeah, I kind of was. I mean, you don't. Of course, you know what? You don't know what to look for in that group yet. You couldn't really name 5 guys in that group if you had to. You couldn't name 3 guys in that group, basically.
No.
But they just they played an outstanding game. I mean, defensively they played an outstanding game too. And Nix was, you know what? He was decent. He was decent. He scored a couple touchdowns. He looked okay. He looked athletic. Does what he does, right? But that was a very surprising score. I did not expect that.
Dave.
Yeah, he threw for 216 yards and 80. He had an 85 rating.
Did you like Bo Nix? I mean, did you think he showed marketably improvement?
Bo Nix to me is 2 guys. So,
oh boy,
yeah. So there's the Auburn Bo Nix. Oh, and then there's the Oregon Bo Nix.
Yeah,
the Oregon Bo Nix was an unbelievable player. The Auburn Bo Nix was under pressure. His father played there, right? Was under pressure. He was supposed to be the savior of Auburn football. Never worked out that way. And he showed flashes. He struggled at times too, and that's why he transferred out.
And that's why Gus Malzahn got fired.
Yeah, I mean the fans were after him. It's one of those things. Like sometimes when you go home, quote unquote home, it's good, and sometimes when you go home, quote unquote, it doesn't work out. And that was an example. But yeah, so I think that he could throw. I think he's got a good arm. I think he's a good athlete. He can run if need be. I think he's very smart. I think he's very smart.
Well, he should be. I mean, 6 years.
Yeah, I think he's very smart. Time will tell. I'm not. He's not a guy I can say yes for sure. But listen, he had 2 interceptions the first game, 2 interceptions in the second game, right? You kind of have to pull up Peyton Manning's stats. That's one of these things with these rookie quarterbacks. Yeah. I mean, Peyton Manning, his rookie year was abysmal.
He was
4 interceptions and touchdowns, I think. So, all going to start. All these guys, if they're drafted high enough, they're going to start right away for the most part, and they're going to have to either do it or not do it.
You got to go back and correct this. Earlier on, before Coach was on, we were talking about Minnesota. They didn't play San Fran. They played Houston.
They played Houston?
They played Houston, correct. Because San Fran lost to the Rams. Oh. That late comeback by Stafford and the Rams.
Well, a loss is a loss. It doesn't really matter.
Right, there you go.
And it's my show.
Right, of course.
So what did you think of the Packers quarterback? He stepped in. You never liked him. No, he did a good job.
I mean, I'm not that, you make it sound like I sent hate mail to these guys.
No, I know you.
No, I'm not a fan.
You didn't think he was a first round pick.
I didn't think he did. Again, this may be, and I don't think it's even a program thing because he's been there 3 weeks. I mean, it's not like he's been there through
camp
or anything like that. They just signed him on that
practice squad. Right?
I think more of the thing was they probably trimmed down what he had to know or do.
Yeah,
they let his athleticism take over, right? And there was a revenge factor for him because Tennessee was the one that dumped him. So there's a lot of factors, human factors that are played into that. And sometimes simple stupid is not a bad thing.
I agree.
I can't imagine. I've been in in rooms and seen pro playbooks and just the stuff that they have to call. I was at Division 4 coaching, and call it Division 4, but I was at a Division
where they
3
would tell
school.
every single person what to do.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what the funny thing was? Here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. I love the coach. I love the program. I love that. And it's changed. He's changed. I don't know if he's gone back or not, but he brought a playbook over from one system. He's always had the playbook, so he's comfortable with it. So bring it in here, and you've got kids at this college that are going to be doctors, lawyers, NASA astronauts, scientists. They're coming from wealthy families. They're incredibly intelligent. And then we'd get them in a huddle, and you'd read out like 75 words out for a play, and they were lost. Yeah. They had no clue. Yeah. So why make it so difficult to comprehend? Why not keep it simple, stupid sometimes to be able to let
I agree.
And I think that's what they did with Willis to allow the game to flow for him and for the rest of the players around him.
Yeah, that was a huge win for him. Dave, I wanted to switch over quickly to the NCAA because I thought this was very interesting. Reggie Bush is suing the NCAA and the NIL for injustice because his Heisman Trophy, I believe, is the only one in history to be vacated.
I always thought that was atrocious that that his Heisman Trophy was taken away.
Just vacated.
Well, like there was nobody there.
Well, what do you mean it's vacated? He can't get it back, or no one's going to get it, or was
no one got it? Yeah, no one ended up getting it. It just ended up being vacated. They vacated him being the winner, and nobody else got it. The runner-up didn't get it. It didn't go to anyone.
And they never gave him back his trophy even after all this stuff?
No.
Are you sure? I thought they gave him the trophy back.
I'm pretty sure they didn't. I'm going to check. Yeah, I don't think they gave it back to him.
Well, he wants NIL back pay. If there's anyone that should have got NIL was made for, it was Reggie Bush.
But where's how does he get NIL?
But I want my $1.98 for nickel night from UConn, right. As Joe D'Ambrosio so gladly stated. I thought it was worth more than that because the girls used to like me in college. So I
they did like you.
$1.98 buy a couple of jerseys,
That jersey excellent.
Times 60,000 times the 60,000 times you were there, $1.98. That's like 150 grand.
Because the it's not the NIL back pay, it's the television back pay that goes back to 2016. And he is saying that it should go back further than that.
But I think it should go back to 1992 when CTTV, Connecticut Public Television was putting on. I want some of those donations that they got for the station. You know what I mean?
I don't understand.
What did they make in the year? You know, I want to know what that is.
What did the college player back then get from the TV deal?
They didn't get anything. What
do they want?
But the Pac-12 had a TV deal with ESPN or somebody that paid millions.
They all did, right?
Of course, they did. That's how the schools make their money. But what is he? There was no deal. There's no NIL rules. There's nothing in place. What's he suing for?
He's suing because they made the rule now, and they agreed to back pay 10 years worth. That
listen. Why aren't the Native Americans suing this country and getting all their land back? They should get all their land back.
Can they do that?
Why not?
So they would have to file a lawsuit saying, "I want."
If everybody can claim that they want to get everything back now because the deal has changed.
Actually, I think that was almost like in some of these places with the casino deals they struck. It was kind of almost a version of that, where, like, for example, in Connecticut, who runs they're different tribes. One runs the Mohegan Sun. The other one runs
Foxwood.
The Haitians.
Foxwoods. And one of the guys who played with us at UConn, with me at UConn, he was a walk-on. He is the CEO now of Foxwoods. He played,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he still is, but he definitely was.
He's the CEO of Foxwoods. I need tickets.
Yeah, we got to get
show tickets, showroom tickets, whatever it is. We need it.
Yeah, he's the CEO because he's the head of the tribe now. And he was, You
are right. His award was reinstated.
Yeah, I know. You got the Heisman Trophy back,
and his jersey was retired. And he has a better relationship with the university, but he still feels that he could have gotten more money than he did get illegally.
Yeah, but wait a minute. He got his Heisman Trophy, And then it was rescinded several years after he signed his NFL contract.
Correct.
So he got his money. He went to the NFL. He got his money. How much more money are you going to make?
I don't know. He got a house.
They
moved his whole family out there. Right. And that was the whole reason behind it. Right. But I thought it was surprising that
he wants to recoup. I see what it is. He wants to recoup the money made on his name, image. I don't know how you quantify it, but basically jersey sales. That's what I'm saying. So if you sold 1 million jerseys.
I mean,
if you sold 1 million jerseys during a time period, times 50.
Yeah,
is that what he's talking about?
But there was no deal in place.
Right, but there wasn't.
Nobody negotiated a deal.
There's no deal.
There was no deal in 2016.
How can you go in? It's like me going into the bank and going, listen, we've been friends for a long time at the bank. You've loaned me some money in the past. You know what? I want you to give me more money, but I'm not going to sign any paper. Just give it to me because, I need a little extra. Doesn't work that way.
No. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way.
Who's his lawyer?
It's called. Well, he wants, what do they call it?
Reparations.
Reparations.
That's what he's looking for. Reparations.
It's gone from slavery to loss of income for your Heisman Trophy victory. Come on.
It's basically, he feels that he wasn't compensated enough.
Me too. I go to work every day. I'm not compensated enough. You know how many people are good Facebook reviews, bad Facebook reviews? It's all PR. What are you going to do? I get some bad stuff. I'm not compensated enough.
I can't picture anyone giving you a bad review.
Of course.
If he wins? Let's say he wins.
If he wins, we're going.
California.
Dave, we'll file a lawsuit.
If he wins, Jim Thorpe's great grandson is going to sue the NCAA for money's not earned and discrimination.
That's right, yeah. Carlisle Indians. We don't know how many Carlisle Indian jerseys did they sell back then?
It couldn't have been that many. They were all wool. That shit was heavy. You'd be sweating your nuts off in that jersey.
No, but I thought it was crazy that he sued.
I mean, Pop Warner's relatives should sue because they use his name
all the time with no compensation.
No compensation. He's the Pop Warner. He's in charge
of trophies. You have a Pop Warner trophy. Here's your Pop Warner trophy. Hey, you're gonna play Pop Warner. Sign up for Pop Warner. This is the biggest advertisement in the world. He gets nothing.
They get nothing for Pop Warner.
I didn't even know there was a guy.
Pop Warner coach.
There was a guy named Pop Warner.
Yes, he was Jim Thorpe's coach.
You're kidding me.
Yes, that's Jim Thorpe's coach, Pop Warner. You didn't know that?
Junior Warner.
Names their kid Pop.
Junior. They call them Pops. The Junior Warner is his great grandson. Junior Warner is going to have a lawsuit against Pop Warner. He's going to have to sue his own family because he wants money rights from when they were using his name in 1920.
All this time, I never knew that. You're telling me Pop Warner was actually named after a person?
What do you think? They just came up with this thing?
I had no idea.
You think that would have been the best name they could have given a youth league is Pop Warner?
Well, some places call it Little League, so I wasn't sure. I didn't know it was Pop Warner.
Pop Warner, yes.
It was Pop Warner. Okay. Dave, the other thing I wanted to ask was the Colorado Baylor finish, the Hail Mary.
Yep, I watched the game.
Colorado 3-1. They same record as they were last year. They lost to Nebraska. That was the tough one. Do you see Colorado on the rise? Do you see them being able to compete in a Big 12 schedule, Big 12 environment, and having success? Or do you think it's going to be another 4 or 5 win season?
I think they'll compete because they have 2 superstars and they have a good receiving core. I think they'll compete in the games. I don't think they're a very good team overall. I think they have superstars that are literally like, you could make the legit argument that Travis Hunter should be the Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, what this guy is doing, both sides of the ball. I mean, he caused a turnover at the end of the game. He knew they were going to run at him because he said people think that he can't tackle, and he popped the ball out. I mean, to me, Colorado is an average team with some superstars. And so it makes them dangerous. They could possibly win again. Listen, the Baylor game, I watched the whole game.
Right.
Baylor coach is if he's not on the hot seat or wasn't already on the hot seat, which I think he was, he should be. The decisions they made at the end of the game, throughout the game, people were like, "Oh, the end of the game." I watched the whole game. They should have blew Colorado out. They were up by 2 touchdowns with an opportunity to go up by 3, and they blew it. They blew the opportunity to go up by 3. They ran the ball. They were on their side of the field, or they ran the ball 2 times. I think they ran the ball maybe 3 times, and they got themselves in a 4th and 2 and punted instead of just trying to it was 4th down and 2, and they ran like a QB draw or something. The play calling was horrible because they had scored on it the previous drive. They scored on it, so they think they could do it again on a 4th down. The play calling was terrible. The defensive play calling was terrible. Baylor is not good, and they were the better team than Colorado. Colorado's stars made plays when needed, which they deserve kudos for. They fought. I give them that. They fought the whole entire game. But Baylor, man, Baylor should have won that game.
Wow, I didn't know that.
45 to 28. They just completely over and over again. The play calling, they
were too cute.
Oh God, they could have threw the ball every down. They could have threw it every down and ran and let the quarterback take off every once in a while and put up points. They would try to run it up the middle with it was just very little creativity. And the other than Travis Hunter, the defensive backs in Colorado are very average. Travis Hunter is obviously great, but they're very average. And Shiloh Sanders is hurt, right? So they don't have him at safety.
Yeah.
So, just Baylor is not a great team, and they should have beaten Colorado. Colorado deserves credit for fighting. Those guys fought. They did it, and Sanders, pulled magic out of the hat. I mean, listen, the play before the miracle tying catch, he hit the tight end right in the chest,
right in the hands. Yeah, and missed and dropped it.
How Baylor, after the first time, didn't adjust what they were doing after he just drilled the guy in the chest.
Same spot in the field, just in the 2-yard line is where he dropped it, and then the catch was in the end zone for the tie. And I agree with you. I don't understand what was going on there at all. My thought in my head right now is running around. You're naming, obviously Hunter is a candidate for the trophy.
Ask you, where do you think
Shador has the arm and has athletic ability and the smarts most likely to play that. So what happens when Hunter and Shador Sanders leave after this year? Is Deion gone?
Gonna probably go. Yeah.
Is Deion gone? Because what's he going to build with? What is there to?
He'll bring in another 80 new players.
Well, maybe right.
He'll leave.
Yeah, I don't see him staying after this year. I just don't. So
it's going to be tough.
What program is going to take him next? Why I don't see an NFL team taking him.
He has generated so much revenue for Colorado.
Correct, but but if you're an AD, I mean, it's almost like you're signing an NIL coach. You're basically getting a guy, and you're going to have to dump continuous amounts of money every year, or he's not going to stay because bottom line. So if I'm an AD, do I say, hey, I'm going to pull the trigger on that guy? I wouldn't.
I give him credit. He donated $1 million of his own money to Jackson State for their own facilities.
Well, that was probably just a donation from a company or
an
individual donor gave it to him, and then
he
just gave it and passed it on to somebody else.
All right, so we're gonna make our picks for the week. We
didn't pick last week.
We did pick last week.
No, we did not. No, we did not.
Oh, okay.
No, we did not. As the greatest
I apologize.
podcaster in the world, I think you effed up.
I thought we did make picks.
Right. No.
I'm going to go back and verify that.
Please do.
So I'm looking at the top games. Let's do Louisville, Notre Dame. 15 versus 16. Notre Dame's 3-1. And it is on Frank's favorite channel, Peacock.
Yeah.
At 3:30. It's Notre Dame minus 6.5.
Stress the cock on that and not the P. Because that channel can blow me. See, it rhymed. That was good. Because bottom line, to start charging for no, because they're charging NFL games. It's ridiculous. It's become a land of pay-per-view. Everything is going to be pay-per-view. You have to pick your package.
No, you have
every show.
You just got to pay with Joy.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to bundle it. They should have the Joy bundle. They should have the Joy bundle. Right, the Joy bundle. Everything is included, and once you hit the app to open it up and play it, nothing plays.
Yeah. So, who do you like here?
Me?
Yeah.
You said Notre Dame, Louisville. They're both undefeated, right?
No. Notre Dame's 3-1. But they're a 6.5 favorite.
Is it at Notre Dame?
It's at Notre Dame.
It's at Notre Dame. Although Notre Dame looked kind of pedestrian at home too this weekend.
They both, yeah.
I'm still gonna go with Notre Dame. I'll go up to 6.5 at home. Dave,
I'll go with Louisville.
Yeah. I believe the over under is 48.5. So I would go with Louisville too. I'm not sold completely on Notre Dame. The big matchup of the week is Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah.
Georgia is -1.5.
Really?
And
that's at Georgia?
It's at Alabama.
At Alabama.
At Alabama.
Bigger at Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And the over under again is 48.5. Wow.
Do you know any of Alabama's competition so far? Who they've played in the last 3 weeks?
I know they played UCF last week or 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Alabama beat Wisconsin 42-10. South Florida.
Yeah.
South Florida 42-16.
Okay.
They struggled a little bit in that game.
Western Kentucky 63-0.
And that's it.
I'm going with Georgia. I'll take my money on Georgia at Alabama.
Yeah, I would take Georgia as well. Dave?
I don't know that I'm sold on Georgia.
Yeah, Carson Beck, the quarterback. Yeah,
they barely beat Kentucky. But
yeah, they did sneak out there.
The reason why I'm going to go with Georgia is because they've had a bye week.
So they're coming off. Okay.
So after that kind of win by 1 point, they had a bye week to get it corrected. And my guess is Kirby Smart will have gotten it corrected.
I agree.
So I think that if they were coming off that game directly, that 14-13, whatever it was, something like that, 14-13 win over Kentucky, I would have gone with Alabama. But I think with that week off, Kirby Smart gets it fixed, and they beat Alabama.
And they're back on track. The last game, which is kind of a surprise, the number 19th ranked Illinois, the Fighting Illini, are 4-0. Wow, I was shocked to see that. Are at Penn State, who are 3-0, and Penn State is -18.
-18? Yeah. I'll take Illinois. I don't care.
I mean,
I'm
trying to see.
I'm never sold on Penn State.
If Illinois,
I apologize. I'm never sold on Penn State. But if it's -18, I'll take the 18 points in a top 20 team against them. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, they beat Illinois beat Central Michigan. It looks like.
Yeah.
They beat Kansas.
Okay.
Kansas, who would have been pretty good.
Decent, yeah.
And then I don't even know who EIU is.
Eastern Illinois University.
Oh, that's East.
That is correct. That's another gimme. But that's okay. You can look up Penn State. Who did Penn State beat? Hofstra. Who else did they beat? Carnegie Mellon. Who did they play?
Carnegie Mellon.
Penn State.
Gallaudet. Were they banging the drums on the sidelines of Gallaudet?
Kent State.
Kent State. There you go. There's a gimme.
It looks like they.
Who else? They got to be some fierce competition on there. They beat Rutgers. No, they haven't played Rutgers yet.
They beat West Virginia.
12. Okay.
And they beat Iowa State.
27. Well, that's not bad though. I mean, Iowa State.
Rutgers has a big game this week versus Washington Friday night.
Ooh, that's right too. Yeah.
Is Rutgers? They're not undefeated though, right?
I think they are.
Game.
Yes.
Let's pick that game. All right. Listen, I'm still taking Illinois. I'll take the +18 or 18.
Yeah, I'm taking Illinois too. I don't like James Franklin either.
So for the spread, I would definitely take Illinois. For
the game
victory wise.
Well, I think Penn State should win.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do Rutgers, Washington. It's at Washington, right?
I got to check because
I'm taking Rutgers.
They're not.
I don't care what the spread is.
They're not in the top 20.
I'm taking them straight up.
I'm taking Rutgers.
Absolutely.
Washington is good. I think
they're
who
three.
did they
They're
lose
three.
to?
No, wow.
No, I think Washington is not that good.
Rutgers is favored. Holy crap! Rutgers is minus 2.5.
Yeah. Who did Washington play?
Washington
Pacific
played
Azusa. Azusa Pacific.
Eastern Michigan.
Eastern Michigan. There you go.
Washington State.
Washington State.
And then this.
At Portland State.
And Portland State.
I love that. You bring the old school, like no longer around, defunct.
Weber State.
Weber State.
Remember when they were great?
They got beat 35. They won 35-3.
They have football.
Weber State.
Wow, that's a
growing up as a kid. Like when UConn recruited me because they were at FCS.
Yeah,
I didn't know I didn't even know what UConn was.
No, I was the same way as you.
I didn't even know what it was. Right. And the only thing I knew about FCS was like Weber State, Portland State were like powers back then. I remember seeing I think Neil Lomax was the quarterback of Portland State.
Yeah, he was. That's right.
Right. So that's what I kind of was like, okay, I'm like, I guess that those guys were pretty good. I didn't know really much about it.
No,
exactly.
You can't figure that stuff out. I'm out of the picture again.
Well, we're signing off. We're saying goodbye. I didn't get to. I had to go smaller.
There's my son in the background.
So the voice of
What's
reason.
up, son?
Dave, another spirited Moneyline. We had 2 phenomenal podcasts today.
Cutler, come here.
And the voice of reason joined us. This is Cutler. This is Frank's son.
This is my son. He'll be a senior this year. He's
got curly hair
at New Hartford. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's a ladies' man.
Towers.
I heard a lot of great things about you.
Yeah, a lot of great things about you.
Yeah. He did a podcast with us too. I got to send it to you.
Did he really?
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he got mad though because I called his coach a buffoon.
Well, we broke down his PTSD problems with the basketball program.
And now his coach, his basketball coach is coaching JV football, which is even better. So
yeah, that's all right.
All right. Well, for the voice of reason, Frank Cristiano, the coach, David Schuman, I am the best radio podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges.